Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Slegaitis-Smith and this is a channel where we like to talk about writing, learning, and creating. This video kind of I don't know, I guess you could say it crosses the boundaries between those topics because it's going to apply to writing, it's going to apply to learning, it's going to apply to creating. So let's take a moment and talk about motivation. Motivation is super important. No matter what kind of project you're working on, you need it to be successful. And I'm honestly making this video about motivation because I'm not feeling very motivated to do certain things in my life right now. And there are many reasons why our motivation either accelerates or slumps. So let's talk a little bit about those things and let's talk about how we can remotivate ourselves when we find ourselves sliding into one of those slumps. So I could go on and on and on about why people gain motivation or lose motivation, but it really boils down to a few key elements that we're going to talk about right now. The first one being your energy. From personal experience, I found that there are three types of energies that you really need to monitor inside of yourself in order to keep your motivation going. The first type of motivation is your emotional energy levels. So your emotional energy is tied to your emotions, which means that it's going to fluctuate a lot because all of us have fluctuating emotions like all the time. And that's not a bad thing. It's just part of being human. And whether we want to acknowledge our emotions or not, they're there and they're fluctuating anyway. So we need to find a way to take care of that emotional energy to make sure that we can keep ourselves as positive and uplifted as possible. One way that you can do that is making sure that you are taking in stuff that is going to feed you emotionally in a positive way. Especially nowadays, and I feel like you could always say especially nowadays, but I feel like especially nowadays, it is really easy to get sucked into the negativity of all the things that are happening around us because there's really negative things happening around us. But at the same time that we need to acknowledge those things and we need to confront those things, we also need to find a way to keep our emotional energy healthy so that we can actually deal with those things in an appropriate manner. So sometimes that means you need to step away from the news or from social media for a little while so that you can give yourself some time to detox from that negativity. Other things that can impact it is what's going on in like your social relational spheres. Like, are you able to dedicate the time that you want to into the friendships that you have? Do you have positive friendships that are building you up, or do you have leeching friendships that are slowly draining the life out of you? It does call for a lot of self evaluation, but that's kind of what this whole video is about. So expect to talk about self evaluation a lot. Other than talking about our emotional energy, there is our physical energy. Physical energy is completely tied to how you are taking care of your body. And everyone needs a little bit of some different stuff in order to make sure that your body is functioning right. This is talking about your diet, your exercise, and the different types of exertions you are doing physically throughout the day. Now, some of us are in very physically intense jobs, and so your physical energy is going to get very much drained because of everything that is happening. And that is why you need to fuel yourself properly to make sure that your physical energy is there to support you. So that does mean that you need to evaluate if you are eating in a healthy manner. It does mean that you need to evaluate if you are doing the right amount of exercise for the type of intake you are doing. And I'm not saying that we all need to go on calorie counting, special diet things. Just make sure that you are making as many healthy choices as possible. And we all need to do that. I need to do that. Like, we always just need to keep evaluating, are you making the healthy choices with what you're eating, with what you're doing, in order to make sure that you are going to be your best self. The third type of energy is the one that I'm currently feeling very drained on right now, which is the mental energy. When we are doing stuff that is very taxing on the old noggin, we slowly start draining this mental energy out. For me, what is currently draining my mental energy is a lot is school related stuff. What is going on in schools right now is very complicated, and looking forward to how things are supposed to be changing soon it's very complicated. And so it's just very mentally draining trying to be the teacher that I need to be for my students, as well as trying to do all the other things that are a part of my life, including writing, which is also a mental taxing thing. Like, writing recharges me. It is such a stabilizing factor in my life. But at the same time, it is also another mental exertion. So, what are some things that we can do to help with our mental energy levels? One, allow yourself to take some time to rest. You don't feel like you have time to rest. I don't feel like I have time to rest, but we need to take the time to rest. It is so beyond important for keeping ourselves healthy and functioning in a regular basis. Also, find a way to help yourself stay organized. Staying organized helps relieve so much mental tension from your brain, because when things start going chaotic and you feel like you're out of control, having something that helps you to remember everything that you need to do will help you to feel more in control. Having a to-do list or a priority list will help you to do what you need to, so that you can stay in control, so that you can keep your brain in a good space, so that you can keep doing everything that you need to do. I've developed so many different ways to organize myself, like, over the years, and I still use them all to varying degrees. If you want a video about like different ways that you can keep yourself organized, I'd be more than happy to give that to you. Just leave a comment in the comment section below asking for that, because I want to start building more interaction in our community here, so that I'm actually giving you information you want to know more about. That'd be great. But so for me in particular, having these organization methods are huge for making sure that I'm not getting too mentally overtaxed, even when things are very mentally taxing. So, why do these energy levels matter for motivation? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we all got there anyway. When you feel tired, you don't feel motivated to do literally anything. So, by keeping those energy levels higher, you're more likely to keep your motivation level higher as well. So, what if you've already drained your batteries too far and you like have no motivation to do anything at all? Because we all have those days and we all have those moments. Well, look back at those different types of energy. Are you fulfilling what you need to do in your life to make sure that those energy levels can be replenished? And sometimes that means stepping away from stuff, which is very scary as someone who like is very invested in their work. But it's still very important so that you can continue to do that work. So it's kind of like the idea of opportunity cost, where opportunity cost is the idea that when you go to buy something, the price tag, the physical price tag of what that thing costs, is weighed against the opportunity of having that item. Where if it's something that you're using every single day, then that thing might be worth like negative money because of the fact that you're using it so often. Where a purchase might be very expensive because you're only going to use it once and then you're done. So, that is the same thing with taking care of yourself so that you can keep your motivation higher. Doing your rest time is the cost of that item, but the payoff is that you are going to be so much better at doing what you need to get done, whether that is for work, for one of your different works in progress, or for any other area of your life. Taking that time to recharge your different sections of energy is going to help you to be more effective in those things. So even though it can feel really backwards to step away from something when you're so busy, sometimes that's exactly what you need to do so that you can keep going. I know that it's hard, and I'm talking to myself here. I'm preaching to myself. Sometimes I need to step away from things, and it's very difficult for me to do that. But I will be better at the things that I'm trying to accomplish if I take that time to step away. And I'm willing to bet that you're probably in the same boat. Obviously, there's so many different areas that I could really deep dive into, which I'm not going to deep dive into today for multiple reasons. One, I just wanted a short video for today to discuss something that I'm currently working with, and I figure other people are working with too. Also, I'm not a person who is professional on the topic of motivation. I just have my own personal experiences to go off of, so I don't want to talk too much about it and risk being silly in the not good kind of silly way. But I'm hoping that you found this video useful, that it helped you to think about the different things that you need to do to help keep yourself healthy during these times, whatever these times are looking like for you. And I really do hope that you're able to keep your motivation going and are able to do everything that you're setting out to do. I want to keep our community here happy, healthy, and working on our work in progress so that we can get those done. Other than that, just have a great one until the next one.